As I guess this industry continues to try to keep pace with consumer technologies, I think that what we're going to start seeing is even more of an amalgamation, not of existing technologies to solve recruiting problems, but rather the adoption of consumer programs and consumer enterprise technologies that are not HR focused in order to solve HR problems.
I believe that internal mobility and referral are going to become key pieces of how we find employees in the future.
And you're going to see the real power of how we're going to have to change work inside of corporations to accommodate the kinds of people we're looking for, who really are more partners than they are supplicants to our selection system.
Social and mobile continue to be really, really important topics in the space, and I think if you're going to be marketing, recruitment, or any type of talent management software in the HR marketplace, social and mobile really have to be driving your product design.
We're going to see a lot of fluidity in the market, so we're going to have vendors reacting to that. And what I mean by that is what we've heard traditionally about the uprising of the contingent workforce, and also a lot of temporary workers. And a lot of people interchange those two things, which are not necessarily the same thing. So I think we're going to see fluidity in the workforce brought about by candidates, and we're going to see vendors reacting to that.
I think one of the trends I'm looking forward to in the next year is the whole concept of social media and how it relates to companies looking at candidates in terms of evaluating them for fit. How are they going to fit into the culture? How do they work with other team members? And I think social media, a person's social media profile can really tell a company a lot about how that person's going to interact with their employees and fit into the organization.
One of the predictions that I have for the very, very near future is that we're going to get a lot smarter about messaging to people in ways that they understand and that they're passionate about. And that all goes back to defining the audience. So talking to people in ways that they care about the things that matter most to them in their job and in their career.
This is going to be a year in recruiting where we're going to see in technology much more of a convergence of other departments, systems, and best practices rather than sitting in the silo from a systems perspective.
We're going to see some really interesting focus on the candidate experience where we haven't seen that before. Companies like ATSs or anything like that traditionally haven't focused as much on candidate experience, and now I'm seeing a big return to that.
I think increasingly it's become obvious that the world of recruiting is changing tremendously. And the way we used to search was really, we would broadcast our jobs. We would go out there and say, is there anybody interested in doing something? It was a long process. It was a very inexact process. And it required a tremendous amount of time and energy on the part of recruiters to select, interview, and ultimately hire good people. I think social media and the internet has changed that completely.
Within 2 to 3 years, you will see in the hands of a job seeker who will be able to take a look at a job description, find the hiring manager and the team behind that hiring manager, pull from all the different social media sources a profile of that hiring manager, and learn about his hiring style or her hiring style, as well as their success over the last few years in whether or not they've moved, promoted, or handled the kinds of people in that organization that are like me. And I'll also know about the collaboration style of the teammates if I were to take that damn job.